There's an all-new Chevy Equinox, and it gets a tougher look. I'm Tom Voelk for the Seattle International Auto Show, and spoiler alert, this is a nice rig. Equinox is a big deal at Chevy. After pickups, it's the Bowtie brand's best-selling vehicle. The third generation was becoming long in the tooth. Generation 4 here is a major reset. Looking like Big Brother Traverse left in the dryer too long, its visual is as rugged as the outgoing model was generic. It does battle in the fiercest segment. Competitors are Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, Nissan Rogue, Subaru Forester, Hyundai Tucson, and Kia Sportage, plus Ford Escape and Bronco Sport. Let me clear up any confusion. There are two completely different Equinox models in the Chevy lineup now. I've already profiled the EV, which is built on a dedicated electric vehicle platform called Ultium. This is strictly internal combustion, and the two don't look anything alike. 2.5 inches wider now, Equinox is available in 3 trim levels. This lightly optioned active all-wheel drive stickers for $37,470. In Cacti Green over Maple Sugar, it should appeal to buyers from Arizona to Canada. Active is mostly a rugged-looking trim package and can be had as a front driver. There's more machismo in the grille. Cladding is purposeful but understated, looking at used Subaru Wilderness models. The only real functional upgrade is all-terrain general grabber tires on 17-inch wheels. The 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder is a carryover. Hooked up to all-wheel drive, it makes 175 horsepower and 203 pound-feet of torque. Front drive versions deliver 19 pound-feet less. There's no hybrid powertrain. So the front-wheel drive Equinox gets a continuously variable transmission. All-wheel drive, motors with an 8-speed gearbox. There are manual shifts here if you hit the low button on the steering wheel. Generally, all-wheel drive needs to be dialed in. Chevy's system is not automatic. However, pop it into off-road or snow mode, and the setup is smart enough to engage the back wheels. Towing? All-wheel drive is rated as high as 1,500 pounds. Front-wheel drive is 800. I did a couple hard acceleration runs in front-wheel drive mode to check if there was any torque steer off the line. It's that tugging of the steering wheel. Not much. It saunters up to 60 miles an hour in just under 9 seconds. So if you're looking for a powerful Equinox, maybe go with the all-wheel drive EV model. Thing is, in city driving, this never feels underpowered. It's perfectly fine, and the engine is very smooth. The 1.5-liter has the kind of refinement that was once exclusive to Toyota and Honda. Visibility out of the Equinox is quite good. That's not a given these days. This is moderately quiet. It reminds me of the Honda CR-V. And one thing that's impressive, not an awful lot of road noise off the grabber all-terrain tires. Kind of curious what the all-season treads are like with the RS. I'm not off-roading the Active because other than the extra traction the tires add, it has no trail advantage over other trims. Equinox, any Equinox, should handle dirt roads that people take to access hiking and mountain biking trails without breaking a sweat. As far as ride quality and driving dynamics go, Equinox is pretty much set for comfort, not sport. You hit a big bump, and it does bounce a little bit, but it's not out of control. It's never overly floaty. Also, Active has taller sidewalls on the tires, so it absorbs sharp bumps very nicely. But again, this is set up the way it should be for everyday drivers. The steering effort is nicely weighted. On rare cases, the suspension can make itself heard when unloading over big bumps. The Active suite of standard electronic ADAS tech includes adaptive cruise, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and bicyclist detection, rear automatic braking, and blind zone steering assist. I haven't driven the front-wheel drive Equinox, so I can't speak to the CVT, but the 8-speed in the all-wheel drive version is exceptionally well calibrated. Unless you're paying attention, you don't really notice the shifts. Like most modern ICE vehicles these days, there's fuel-saving automatic engine stop-start. Shutdown is smooth. It can be turned off. There's a physical button, but most people will probably leave it alone because it's very smooth, even on startup. Which brings me to fuel economy. The EPA average of the all-wheel drive Equinox is 26 miles per gallon using standard grade fuel. That's actually down by 1 mpg. I'm guessing it's because of aerodynamics. This generation Equinox is definitely blockier. This Chevy is a little less efficient than the ICE versions of RAV4 and CR-V, about even with Tucson and Sportage. Either the General Motors accountants are less stingy or Chevy hired a new interior decorator. Equinox gets one of the better looking cabins in class now. Many surfaces are soft touch, graphics, textures, and colors harmonize. Heated microfiber seats are supportive and breathable. There's no need for the extra cost venting. The driver's chair gets power, passengers move things manually, that can be upgraded. The only real option on this car is the safety and technology package. That adds surround view camera and a digital mirror that's helpful if loading cargo to the ceiling. Plenty of small storage nooks scattered around the cockpit, a glasses garage, AirPods fit in this slot, no shortage of compartments and power ports. I find the user interface extremely intuitive. It can be split or not. Dragging icons around helps to customize the high-resolution screen to anyone's liking. Graphics are easy to read, response is snappy. For some, the screen might need to be used too much. This is where GM is putting headlight controls these days. I have no issue with the location. Typically, they're always in automatic. Other than that, there are the right amount of hard buttons. The charge slot is easy to use. Surprisingly, phones don't slide around much. The General has kicked Android Auto and Apple CarPlay out of its EVs, but the gas-fired Equinox still gets it. Equinox would be a good family vehicle. I can see the back seat getting pressed into duty quite often. If you like that feature where the seat slides fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room, that's not happening here, but at 5'9", there's a lot of room for me. Look at that headroom, very generous. Knee, leg, and foot room also generous. Cushions are high enough so that thighs are well supported. Door openings are on the average side. Getting car seats in and out shouldn't be any problem at all. There are a number of small cubbies, always useful, and pockets on both seat backs. It really helps with storage. Phones can be charged, no separate climate zone, at least there are adjustable fans. The cushions themselves are a bit on the flat side. Heated seats are an option that aren't on this vehicle. The floor, that's board flat, great for footroom. 3 people my size on trips across town would actually be fairly comfortable. On longer excursions, especially if you're going to be using the armrest and the cup holders, then yeah, keep it to 2. Storage under the floor? Yes, and there's a spare tire. That'll be a lifesaver in the wilderness should you be out hiking Mount Si. There's a power port and tie downs, naturally. No remote releases, and it's a reach-in to grab these. Go around to the back doors to keep bumper schmutz off your Levi's. Dropping the back means 30 cubic feet expands to 63.5 cubes. Design alone should draw people in to take a look at the 4th generation Equinox, and the newly found refinement should help close the sale. This is a crossover that's well worth looking at. Check it out at your local Chevy showroom, and remember the EV, which is one of the most affordable ways to get 300 miles of range. For the Seattle International Auto Show, I'm Tom Voelk.